Well, hello, hello. Welcome to this special edition of Storytime on Insaka. Guys, we are coming to you at a different time than the regular time, but that's because today is not any other day. It's an unusual day. So, in the studio with me,
Sorry.
I have Miss Irene White.
Guys, it's a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-mm.
And it's a midweek, so brain knife was a copanon.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Winnie
Listen,
from New Jersey playing with her camera.
This Wednesday hasn't been. I can't even say I'm well. I'm just like recovering. Panono,
Mm,
panono, pole, pole. But it's a Wednesday. We're here.
Amen.
Hmm.
Amen. I have a little somebody. You wanna come say hi? Okay
Who
then.
wants to come and say hi to
Who
us?
else? Who else? Guys, we created this space today um as an aftermath. It's a space, it's a safe space. You can come here, process your feelings. We are here to unpack our emotions regarding what happened with the elections, right? Um, as you can see, we are not our usual polished selves. Honestly, it's been a hard day. I personally can say, so now let me back up a little bit. Yesterday, the United States went to the polls, right? Of course, early voting started 2 weeks ago, and yesterday was the final countdown. It was election day. So we had to go and vote. And for the first time on the ballot, we had a woman of color, right? And I, for one, was actually hopeful. I was filled with the audacity of hope that somebody that looks like me could actually be a leader of the free world.
Hmm.
So we stayed up. So we're going to first of all start by talking about how did you vote, right? Irene, did you early vote? Did you vote on the day of? What happened?
Last minute. Remember yesterday I was telling you I'm so busy and I'm gonna go vote, and it was raining over here. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm thinking about it. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I
Mm.
go? Should I not go? Then I listened to your voice note. I'm like, I have to go.
Yeah, I was scolding basically. I was like, you better go vote, girl.
Telling you, I have to go. And then it was a situation where I was very positive about my vote. I was like, you know what, this one is gonna be
Mhm,
the winning vote because I was the last, almost the last ones. I think we were like 30 minutes before they closed. I was like,
mhm.
you know what, this is a lucky vote. And then I didn't watch the votes. I don't watch every year. I don't watch. I went to bed and I said in the morning, just tell me the. And then I'm looking. I'm like, okay, what did I see? Is this a nightmare?
Mm.
Listen.
What about you? What about you, Winnie?
So I did early voting. So on
Mhm,
Saturday, I was playing basketball with Malumbo at the park. And then I knew there was early voting. But when
mm,
I look on the side close to where the courts are, I said early
mhm,
voting. They're closing at 8. That's Malumbo, let's go home. I forgot my ID. If it were
mhm,
because I was like, I'd rather do it like early voting because
Yeah.
I don't want to go on Tuesday and run up and down. And it was a Saturday. I wanted to go with Malumbo, and like you said, Nelly, somebody who looks like me, somebody
mhm,
my son is related to, somebody who can be an aunt. It was just
mhm,
exciting to take him there in the poll and then voting and give him that I voted. He was so
mhm.
excited. So it was some joy for me and him just like sharing the moment and I was so hopeful. And Nelly, the Filipino Monday. Like I said in the morning, I cannot lie. I can lie.
Did you early vote,
Yes.
Nelly?
Yes. So for me, when early voting started in Texas, I was the first one in line. The first day of early voting, I dragged Grandma Joan with me. I said, let's go.
Ah,
Let's go and vote. I think Tony ended up voting like 3 or 4 days later. But I was like, dude, we have some traveling happening, we have things
yeah.
happening. Don't wait until the last day.
Mm.
Early vote. I was calling, Mom, did you vote? She's like, yeah. He called Manasseh, did you vote? He's like, yeah. So we wanted to make sure everybody that we knew took time to vote early. So, I mean, okay, so now election day comes. Irene, you've already told us what your routine is. You voted, but you don't actually sit there and listen to, all the numbers and projections and whatever coming in. Winnie, how did you spend the evening yesterday?
So I got off work on the evening from morning. I woke up with CNN in the morning. So the kids, I was like, okay, we gotta go to school. Turn on my CNN and watching and every minute to listen to the news, the excitement, how things gonna be. All the news, I can put them 4 cubes so I can watch them all. And we left. So around 4 p.m., I didn't want to listen to anything. Around 4 p.m., I went and Google and just see what's going on, because they say start at 4 p.m. to just see the state will be opening up. They're talking. And then my evening was bad because I closed everything else. I didn't want to watch TV. But when I turned on the TV, I think around 7 p.m., when we were at, I think, 30 and he was about 110, my heart, my belly, I was just upset. I was upset. I was upset for my kids. I was upset. I was annoyed yesterday.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't stay up and watch, I just get very aggravated. And of course, even if I wasn't watching, I had all these people that know I don't watch sending me messages. This is where we are. This is where I said, leave me alone. This is where you. But I wanted to say something, ladies. And I wanted to talk to people that are of our race, people that look like us, that voted for the other party. I want you to understand that we're still friends, we're still family. We don't hate each other. We live in a democratic.
Winnie says, speak for yourself.
No, I'm telling you, we live in a democratic.
No. You better speak for yourself, because I'm looking
I'm speaking for myself. I'll tell you. The reason why I'm saying this is that I don't understand why somebody would vote for whoever they vote for. I understand why I didn't.
Okay, so let me cut just briefly. I'll let you get back.
Yeah, Nelly, how was your day? How was your evening?
No. I'll let her finish. I wanted to say, for those of you that are watching, call your friends to call their friends and their friends. We are actually going to bring you in the studio with us. We want to understand your perspective. How did you feel? How are you feeling today? How did you feel yesterday?
We'll give you the link.
We want you to come in here and let us know. So if you're interested, let us know. Send us a message, and we will send you the link for you to come in here and talk to us. Yes. Or if you don't want to get on the camera, you can put it in the comments.
The audio.
So Irene, go ahead, and I'll be watching for messages within our inbox.
Okay.
For anybody that share your email address or your phone number, and we'll send you a link for you to come and join us in the studio.
This is a real deal. We need to talk about it.
It's real. It's real.
Exactly my point.
We are all here. Just your opinion matters. I will help you feel, but me, I'm looking at you like this.
No, you know why I say this? Because I think anyone who's my friend on Facebook must have seen that I put blue hearts on my Facebook page. I put blue hearts. That is like, to me, I was sending a message. I didn't want to say anything loud. That was loud enough for anybody to know what I meant. But I was surprised that one of my friends made a comment in there and said, you too?
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't know what that meant to her. You too means
I can tell you what that means.
I know what that meant. I know. So I was like, you too? You mean me too? I'm blue and you're blue too? Because that's all I want to hear. If you're saying the other thing, then I don't know if I want to cross that border. So that's why I'm saying that, you know what, I don't, because you see, we can sit together and you can clearly say, you know, me, I'm red. And it's okay for you to do that. I should be able to say, me, I'm blue, and for these reasons. But don't come and call me out on Facebook and say, you too. You know, you don't talk to me all the time and you don't tell me anything, and then you say you too.
Well, I would like for for anyone, whichever party that you belong to, however you voted, I would like to understand what your rationale is behind why you made the decision that you made. And
Mhm.
we are creating this safe space, no insults,
Yeah,
no,
no insults.
no disrespect. We
No.
are here to just unpack, and really a lot of people that I know are hurting, myself included. I'll be very honest. This is not the outcome that I hoped for. Election day, I couldn't even concentrate on work, guys.
Yeah.
I told my manager, I was like, look, my body's here, my mind ain't here. I walked, I did 10,000 steps on my street. I just was walking, I was pacing, I was anxious. And at some point in the evening, I decided, you know what? Let me do what I know best: food and wine therapy. Okay.
I'm sorry,
I,
sister.
I walked to Kroger.
I'm here with food. I haven't been eating. Man, I need your wali.
Me
One.
too.
Nah,
Yeah.
your
Let
wali.
me,
Nah,
let me see if I
you,
can
my,
find a picture
do
of my
you, my
election
friend?
meal. Huh?
I said, do you, my friend? You want to eat Shima? Go ahead and do what pleases you.
We
Exactly.
needed comfort. No, and let it finish.
Yeah. So I cooked. Cooking is therapy for me. I went to Kroger. I walked. I found some steak. I bought steak. I bought some mustard greens, chopped them up, cooked a real quick kashima with some grilled meat in the air fryer, and I sat down to eat. I ate. After, after
Ah,
eating my shima, hey,
do
finish
you know
that.
that? Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
so in the morning, for those people that didn't watch like me, in the
Mhm.
morning, who was the first person you called to discuss
This
this?
morning,
Yeah, this morning, who was the first person you called to discuss the
I have to
outcome
look
of
at
the
my
results?
phone because I have to look at my phone.
Me, it
I
was
don't
my sister Rose, because she sleeps with CNN app. Yala CNN app.
I called
believe
my
it
Sometimes
or not. The first
always
person I spoke to
ask,
today was you, Irene.
oh, it was me? Okay.
You are the first person I spoke to today because I the people that I would normally talk to, I think I knew that they were feeling as numb as I was feeling. And yeah, no, I didn't
A lot
even,
of people, I think, checked out.
yeah.
A lot of people, they were drained out of their energy. They didn't want to talk about it. Because I was expecting my sister to be like angry and stuff. She had no life in her. So
Yeah.
I had to put some life back in her. And I said, look, the Red City doesn't pay your bills. It doesn't feed you.
mm,
It doesn't make you happy. It's just there. So don't let it drain your energy because they won. At the end of the day, there's nothing you can do, even if you want to do anything. So she's like, oh, yeah, I know, I know. She even took a day off.
I was not gonna work today, but I had to work. I had to work. There was some work that I was supposed to have done that I procrastinated on. And so it was hanging and I had to work. Any other time, I was going to lay in bed, pull a blanket. And then, oh, I spoke to Brenda because yesterday, so guys, we were talking with
Uh-huh.
my executive in Dallas, right? We had a WhatsApp call and we're just talking. And then we start talking about the elections. And Brenda says, you know what? Create a Zoom so we can do a Zoom watch party. So I created a Zoom link and I shared, and we randomly started sending it to different people. So Dr. Musoma was there, um, myself, and Sandra, other people. So people were like coming and going, right? So we're watching the results and things are coming in, and Brenda's like, "Oh, we're doomed, we're doomed." I'm like, "No, no, no, there's still hope." She's like, "Oh no, we're doomed, Nelly, we're doomed." I was like, "No, no, no, we gotta hang on to hope." And we kept going and drinking and just watching the results together, right? Yeah, but I wanted to show you guys a picture of my Shima.
Oh, my goodness.
carrying
Oh,
on.
now I don't know what to call that. It wasn't a celebration, Shima,
Mm-mm.
but
It,
It was
no,
feeling.
no, no. This was before.
oh, that was before.
This was before. This is like around 7 p.m. 8.
Yena mwene 30 eloba anybody 110. Bashkuru. So let me talk about that. Now after that, so I called Mata this morning. And Mata was kind enough from yesterday, she knew it probably. She was like, about Wisconsin, Wisconsin is crazy. But so the reason why I'm election, I'm gonna say to my people, and people who can hear. Why what mumishi? Mumishi. It's like, you know what? We are in the country where we don't want change. We don't like change.
Say it like it is.
Abantu abatabate mwa change. They don't want change. The fact is, the lady who was there standing, who was there to represent most of us, and she's a woman.
I'll be joining you soon.
And she's a woman.
You only live once.
No, for real. I think I'll do the same thing. For once, right? She goes there and stand, and she worked so hard in a short period of time. And then ask Bamwisa, because none of us here came to paper like America. None of us.
Well, there are some who did.
Oh, so there's some, the lucky ones. Okay, some of us became Social Security and all that, right?
No, Tawaishi not social with Abe, but I sang it.
And I sang it, like, I was.
No, but
oh, but yeah, I sang it. So, but then Moisa couldn't become a paper. And then on top of that, you are getting, if you're a government, now you have paper. And then you are looking down on your friends because they don't have papers. Hey, Trump nicer. Hey, this is what we're going to do. You're forgetting why your father, your mother, your uncle, your sister, your cousin, they are here in America benefiting on what? What the Democrat did. Just because you are here and then you're looking down on your friends who don't have it, it's not okay. Guys, there are so many things when you look at the Democrat. I don't go in deep, but the things that I know, the things that I've got knowledge towards it, they've done so much for some of us by Mwisa. Look at that. If you go in the Bible, they said we don't have to have a border.
In Papa, how did we get there?
No. It says you welcome anyone. Foreigners.
Are you watching The Diplomat? Sorry, Winnie. I saw The Diplomat behind you. Are you watching it, Irene?
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
I just posted.
I just finished season 2.
Oh, really? It's good?
OMG.
Yes.
Guys, if you haven't watched The Diplomat, watch it.
The problem I have with series, I'm a binge watcher.
That's the thing.
I finished it in the same day. Yeah, I finished it in the same day.
You know, I don't have time to stall on things. But anyway, just to tell you what you're saying, Winnie, I know somebody who's African, who's actually Zambian, who was saying, I'm very happy that Trump is coming so he can kick out all these, what did she say? She says all these illegal immigrants.
Yep. Yeah.
I couldn't even answer her.
Yep.
She wasn't talking to me. She was talking to somebody else. I don't know her very well. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste my energy, my breath, my time to try and ask her what she means. I just walked away.
And then not only that, the people were in Zambia. Oh, say for Trump. Because I'm like,
all right, guys, I wanted to, for those people that are confused, because I'll be honest, when I first came here, just like American football, the American electoral process was confusing for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to take a little bit of time and break it down for those of you who may be confused, as I was many, many years ago when I got here, about how the electoral process works. So in most countries, people have polling stations. People go out there, cast their vote, the votes are counted. Whoever gets the most votes is the winner.
Yeah.
It doesn't work as simple as that in the United States. All right. So here is how it works. You have states within the United States. Each state has to have what's called delegates. Okay, we have Dr. Musoma is here. Let me go ahead and add him. Hello, hello.
Hello, buenas noches. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, señor.
Hi, Doc.
I just came out of the barber shop.
You look good.
But guess what? It's the most expensive haircut I've ever had in my life.
Why?
Really?
Yeah,
How?
I'm in a place called Santa Fe, Mexico. And
Oh.
it's a very high dollar area. I
Oh.
went in there and I paid more than I paid in the US for a haircut.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
So,
Nimbebachi mike jinga.
awe, ni mbona fe, mulfi ama mantwani kan.
Oh, vidungu.
Sorry, I don't know why my AirPods are not working, but sorry, I had to take it out here if that's okay. I can't make it to the hotel on time. So
That's fine.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you're here, if you can tilt your phone so that you don't have the
black stuff in the sides.
if you're
Put it in
landscaping
landscape.
this way.
In
look at
landscape.
this.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold on.
Then come back, bro.
Mwaluba.
Come back. You
no,
don't have to come back. Mama Baluba.
I think he hit the button, the wrong
Yeah,
button.
you hit the wrong button.
Okay. So guys, we were explaining the electoral process. So you have states, you have Texas, New York, Illinois, all these different states. Okay, now he came on. Good.
Is that better?
That's better. Yes.
Cool.
All right. So we before you got here, we basically just talked about what did you do? So we can jump to you. We've all answered how did we start the day yesterday? How did we spend the day? And then how did we spend the evening? So you can go ahead and let us know, how was your day yesterday?
My day was good. I didn't do 10,000 steps in my neighborhood. So I've been listening. I just wasn't in. And I didn't make a kabwali, you know. I'm a Zambian patriot, but I'm not big on Ishima.
I
You
know.
Yeah, but yesterday I'm here in Mexico on business. So I spent my day mainly in the hotel, just working from there. And then went to dinner in the evening, and then came back to watch the elections and joined the Zoom. The Zoom watch party. And then I started to feel myself anxious in terms of I didn't want to stay up the whole night, so I cut it out
Yeah.
and went to sleep. I thought that was the wisest thing I could do.
Yes.
But I think I was restless. I woke up at 5.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the first thing I did was check. And before I went to bed last night, I prayed for what I believe was a miracle. And the miracle didn't happen the way it did in the way that I hoped.
Right.
But I love what you said earlier on. This is a safe place or safe space for everyone, because at Insaka, we're a neutral organization, and that we believe in everybody's viewpoints. Even though, we expected different outcomes, we welcome other people's opinions and feelings as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you voted red, somebody voted blue, we just want to have this space, whatever emotions that you're going through. I do know personally a lot of people that are disappointed, like I said before, as I am, being a woman and being a mother of a daughter and being a woman born of a woman.
Yeah.
And I understand that women have really and truly governed their homes, even as the fathers traditionally in the African sense, the fathers would go and work, even though we had a lot of stay-at-home mothers. They did a lot of work to make sure that the children were, 1, disciplined, 2, they did their schoolwork, 3, any projects that they had for school, the mothers made sure that all those things were done. They also made sure their husbands went to work looking representable, right? And also made sure that the family was fed and just taken care of. We now know, how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mother.
Yep.
I think back then, there was a little bit of the culture of looking down on a stay-at-home parent. But now in the US, we've had even stay-at-home fathers.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and people realize it's not an easy thing to do. So if we can trust a woman to give birth to us and raise us and govern our homes and everything else, why is it so hard to have a woman who is educated and qualified and knowledgeable to govern a nation? That's what I don't understand. So anyway, Dr. Musoma, feel free. We've talked. So now that you're here, would love to hear your input um,
Huh.
regarding this. Yeah.
Irene, it's good to see you, by the way. I hadn't seen you in a while. It's good to
Oh,
see you.
thank you. I greeted you when you just came
Yeah.
in.
Sorry,
Thank
good
you.
to see you. I meant to acknowledge
See
you.
you too.
And then,
Thanks.
and then Winnie, I've seen you recently, so it doesn't count. Yeah. Um, thinking about the election, the first thing I want to say is God is not God is not a white man. God is not a black man. He's God. And I love the way scripture says his ways are higher than our ways,
Yep.
and his
Mhm.
thoughts are higher than ours. So I think we should, as much as we have convictions, I love what one pastor said one time. He preached with a beer bottle in his pulpit.
Mm.
Yes, Nelly, yes. I
What?
remember that sermon. And what that pastor said that day, I think he was pastor of First Baptist Dallas. He
Mm.
said, do not let your personal convictions become other people's obligations.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
And
that's
so,
powerful.
yeah, so do not let your personal convictions become other people's obligations. So as I process myself through what happened, I have to
Mm.
make myself aware that I also have biases, just like the people that I believe didn't vote like me.
Mhm.
You know, there's a wonderful piece of writing for those of you that have free time now that we're not watching CNN and all that. It's called the ladder of inference, and it talks
A lot
about
of what?
how the ladder of inference, how
Oh,
Yeah.
you and I make inferences from data that we believe is the truth, and we believe that the truth is obvious. That makes sense. So
yeah.
we can sit up here and all say why this didn't happen, but then even other people who maybe think differently can say, why do they think like that? So in that spirit, I'd like to say um, there's several reasons that I think people would vote for Mr. Trump.
Mm.
I can see it, and I don't have a challenge with individuals that are saying maybe we want a different economic plan than what we've had. The people that I have challenge with are the people who moralize the presidency of Mr. Trump,
Mm.
Yes.
especially my Christian counterparts. A lot
Yeah.
of Africans, by the way, who
Yeah.
say it is a prophetic mandate and that he's a man of God. And I want to say to these individuals, when Mr. Obama was running, when he had a cult-like following, you
Mm.
called him the Antichrist. You
Yeah.
said, "How can a man be so loved?" Well,
Mm.
you love your man so much that you buy MAGA hats, MAGA and MAGA everything, MAGA's on your cars, and he's not anywhere close to being called an Antichrist.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm struggling with understanding that level of reasoning. And with Mr. Obama, he actually went to church and
Yes.
took his family to church. You saw
Yes.
him in church, but you
Yes.
still questioned his Christianity.
Christianity.
But
Yes.
then we've got a leader who actually sold Bibles with his signature in them,
Yeah.
and somehow you're comfortable with that, and
Yeah.
you have
Upside down Bible.
yes, and so
I
Winnie, that's where I
forgot
struggle.
about that.
That's where I struggle. So I'm not angry. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm confused. So please help me understand. If you're someone out there who's saying, "Well, Musoma, I see differently." So for me, what I see in our current president does not reflect the Christ that I've been introduced to in my
Yeah.
whole life. And
Yeah.
the Bible says that we are made in the likeness of God, and that our
Mm.
hope is to return to the image of God and to be like Christ. And
Mm.
so, how could you sit up here and tell me that this man represents that? Please help me understand that. Maybe economics, I'm fine. But if you
Mm.
moralize and spiritualize our incoming president, there I part with you. And Nelly, that's been my struggle. You know,
Yeah.
any day tell me economics, maybe I'll be okay. But
Yeah.
I'm
I,
with you. I'm with you, Dr. Musoma, on the moral side of this. I'm not really into politics like that, but on the moral side, I think I'm with you. Like, I'm more confused than anything because I feel like Sorry, there's a knock at the door. I don't know who it is. Um, a man who was born out of a woman and disrespect a woman. I don't care whether it's a woman you know or you don't know. I had a problem with that because we come from a culture that tells us that we have to respect men, have to respect women have to respect women when they are older than them or younger than them. But when you are standing and you're supposed to be like the leader of this great nation, and you are literally belittling a woman right in front of the world, I do not understand. Right in front of the world, you're belittling. So all these little children that are looking up to you, what do you think they're going to say? The other thing I wanted to say was, when we were growing up, we used to idolize certain positions in life. I would say,
President.
when I grow up, I want to be a president. I
Mhm.
don't think these kids actually have that vocabulary. I don't think so. Because they look up to this person and think, oh, mommy, he's a monster. Mommy, why does he talk like that to people? Mommy, why does he do this? So I don't know how people can actually idolize on a person like that on the moral level of a human being. That's where I'm confused about.
Yep, I've said
And Irene, speaking of morals, for me, and if we are going to put Trump on a pedestal and say, hey, he's a Christian, he stands with Christians, I have this one thing to say. I am not, you know, the biggest Christian. I don't claim to know the Bible upside down, but from my memory of, from childhood memories of going to Sunday school and being taught in Sunday school, one thing I do remember is this, that God is love. And God is love. And one of the biggest commandments out there is love your neighbor
as you
as
love
you
yourself.
love yourself. Now, who is your neighbor? It doesn't say love your fellow Republican, love your fellow Democrat. It doesn't say love your fellow Black person, Asian person, whatever person. It says love
Neighbor.
thy
Love your neighbor.
neighbor as
That's
you
right.
love yourself.
Absolutely.
Who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is the one, whoever happens to be next to you.
Yes.
Right? Whether that person is an immigrant, whether that person is gay, straight, whatever, they are your neighbor. The Bible that you are referring to, that you use to put Trump on a pedestal for, tells you, instructs you, commands you, as a matter of fact, to love your neighbor. So that is where I have a struggle with. Here you have a person that was putting little kids and babies, immigrants, in cages and separating them from their parents, and the whole thing about lying, blatantly lying,
Mm.
and making ads about, oh, they're gonna take little Jimmy and send them. When you send little Jimmy to school, little Jimmy is gonna be taken out of school, and the procedure is gonna be done on little Jimmy, and little Jimmy comes home. Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that ad. I saw that ad. Mhm.
How are you gonna at a rally, and people believe that? It's sad to see that people actually believe. If anybody has done surgery, any kind of surgery, I don't care if they cut off your little finger and they sewed it up, you need recovery time. How are they going to take little Jimmy
To
to
school.
surgery, cut little Jimmy up, and put little Jimmy back on the bus and send little Jimmy back to you? How preposterous is that?
In 8 hours.
Eh?
Ladies, one of the things Nelly, Irene,
Oh, you're breaking up.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're breaking up a little.
Oh,
We
Here.
can't
Oh,
hear
you're
you.
breaking up.
you can't hear me?
No, we see you talking, but the sound is not coming through.
Can you hear me now?
Now
Yes.
we can. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I heard somebody once say faith and fear live in the same house.
Mm.
Mm.
So when you
Faith
think
and
about
fear.
faith and fear live in the same house. So the
Wow.
biggest thing to control people here, any
Oh, we lost you again.
Bobby's having a call.
Oh, you
oh,
think?
you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think you're having a call or something.
Oh, I'm gonna make my point, and I'm gonna walk to the hotel and join you back. Okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole faith and fear is that faith and fear.
We lost you again.
I'll come back in on the back
Okay.
end. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay, no,
Okay.
no problem.
Comes to mind that faith and fear, right? It lives in the same house. It's what I realized I saw in so many people, and especially
Mhm.
Americans.
Mhm.
Americans are so afraid. Americans, they are so scared. They feel like when they see a black person, like Kamala is gonna be a president, they think the whole world of Africa is gonna come here. They forgetting to understand we are Americans. There are laws and rules and regulations to live in this country. You can't just bring anyone. You know, they did so much so bad to their forefathers of American, the slavery. So they always have a mind of like, oh, these people, they're gonna come and they're gonna come and get us. There's a fear in them. And then it's sad to the people that, especially my people, my people, the one that you're from Africa on that big continent, after he called a shithole country. I get it. You want to vote for him. Yes, we are in a land where we have so much opportunities, but this man is actually insulting us over and over. And you're saying he's a Christian. Jesus wasn't like that. Jesus did not curse on anyone. Like Nelly said, Jesus loved anyone. Your neighbor is your friend, your fellow immigrant. And it doesn't mean that when you get somewhere, you start looking bad on your friends who don't have it because you have it. It's very sad to see you guys. Oh, I nalikwata mapepa, therefore I'm a mega hat. Come on, guys. We all have gone through somewhere to get where we are right now. And then it's okay, these are politics. But now you are in our WhatsApp groups. And some of you don't even have papers. And when paper it's been voting. Oh, we are in Pennsylvania. This is what we're doing. You don't even have papers. Why? One, you don't have papers. You got problems.
You know,
Because you know what happens? I know when I didn't have it, I was very, not being quiet. I understood how the country works. You can live here as long as you can live here 100 years. As long as you don't do any harm to anyone, you're doing your thing, you're good. But now you are here and you don't even have it. You're still trying to push it in the narrative of, oh, me, I'm a mega, me, I'm a Trump because I'm a Christian, because it's a Christian nation, because this and this. Come on, guys.
You know what, guys?
No, Eric, before you finish, did you see how from 2016, that period of time, how we lived? There was so much hyper pressure, anxiety. Look at pandemic. The guy couldn't even explain what we're going through. The president himself couldn't even explain to us. Every day my heart was burning because I didn't know if I was going to die with COVID. I didn't know if I was going to get up in the morning, our country was going to be bombed. How are we going to accept him? Yes, he's our president. He's going to be our president for the next 4 years. God bless us. How are you going to be a friend with Putin? Those things bothers me. How are you going to have your friend as the enemy? And then everybody to you is nice, is good, is beautiful. And then when a woman speak, they are bad, they're ugly, they're this. I'm failing to understand. I think that's when I turn the phone Nelly. Nati ineni mfurwa. Ala na chifurwa kachero mwanti. But I'm watching that voice note. My voice is like halfway down. I'm so annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. I'm so
Linda says ichikalipa chumfo mwine.
How Mandi?
I don't know who's Bemba who can tell you your Bemba.
Kalipa chumfo mwine means that nganachu kalipa nyole umfo mwine. Everybody have their own way of feeling pain.
I'm telling you.
It's Shinka for Mandi Linda. I am feeling it, and yes,
a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people today checked out. I think the results were not exactly what they were expecting. I think it was based on the things that we've discussed. A lot of people were thinking, I don't think Donald Trump is all the way a bad man.
No.
I think it's the moral part that a lot of us have a problem with.
He's a
Um,
sexist, he's a racist.
so maybe his economic views might be the best views. Of course, you have to sit down and actually analyze that. But me, I was looking at the fact that I don't see how my grandchild, my niece, my nephew can actually say when I grow up I want to be like
Donald Trump.
yes, he doesn't have that. And it's sad because when we're growing up, we had that. We wanted to be a pilot. I want to be a president. I want to be, because we envied the character who was the president at the time. But now, I mean, how do you even say that? Because kids are like making fun of the actual president. That's a very sad thing.
I
We
have
didn't grow up in that era like that.
I tell you, Irene, this morning, because me and Rafik we watched yesterday. So this morning he woke up because I told him to go to bed, I think by 10. And then he got up in the morning, he said, "Morning, Mommy." He comes to my room and gives me a hug. And he says, "Mommy, who won?" I just looked at him and said, "Mommy, no, no, no. Again?" He's only 9 years
What?
old.
He
Yes.
said again?
This again, because he remembers how it was. He
Yeah.
remembers the insult. He remembers, and especially when they say they're eating the dogs, they're
Yeah.
eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Nelly, cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
Very
yeah.
good, right? Yeah, like all that.
So what I wanted to tell you earlier before I lose that thought. So I went to see a client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how the conversation. I think the whole of the past 6 months, every time the TV is on, it's CNN talking about Trump and Kamala and stuff like that. But I think that image came up, and then from nowhere he just said, "I'm voting for Trump." So me, I'm busy like doing the assessment, right? And then the daughter was like making tea or something like that. Then she was like, "Daddy, why would you vote for Trump?" And he's like, "I want to vote for Trump. You know why? I want him to kick out all these immigrants. They're taking our jobs, they're taking our wives and husbands. I don't want them." And then
We're
she,
taking wives and husbands too now?
yes, now you
That's
see,
new.
yes, because she was in the kitchen and she knows I'm of foreign, background. She felt so embarrassed. So she said, "Daddy, don't say that." He said, "No, I'm telling you the truth. I am voting for Trump because I want all these immigrants, they need to go." But my thing is, what I'm trying to say is that because he has said it so many times without explaining in details what he really means, people are taking it literally that he's going to be the president and he's going to kick out every immigrant. Because I had so many calls, me being in leadership, asking me. There's, I think, a clip that's going on that he's going to come and he's giving himself, I think it's 30 days or something of being in power. He's going to deport everyone. I'm like, he's not doing that.
Where does he have the money?
I want to acknowledge, sorry, Irene, I would like to acknowledge there's a comment here from Pastor Linda Lisulo of Maryland, and she says, "Ich kaliba chumfa umwini."
Yeah, we read that one, and then I think I think the explanation that I got was you are the one who feels the pain because you know what you're going through. Because everybody has a reason for why they feel the way they feel, either for the sake of their children or for the sake of the women in the world. Everybody has a different view on this. And therefore, I still stand on the moral side. I have a problem with that.
The problem I have is there were a lot of lies, and I feel as a nation we really need to move away from the politics of lies.
Yeah.
Let's have, listen, one should not be allowed to blatantly come up here and fabricate a lie. Like I would just come up here and say, "Yeah, you guys, Winnie is she's a liar. She's a 4'5" tall liar. light skin. No, it's the complete opposite. Winnie is a
Yeah.
very tall woman. You know,
Yeah.
when she walks in, you see her presence. But as a politician, I can't just come up on TV and tell everybody that hasn't seen Winnie that Winnie is 4'5".
Mhm.
You know,
And then we accept, we go with
and,
it, we
and
run with
people
it.
believe you because we have the belief that if you're coming here asking for our vote to be our leader, then you obviously have some integrity.
Yes.
The sad truth
That
is
part.
people are blatantly lying. You know,
I'd
if you
want somebody, Nelly. I'd want somebody to say Irene is 5'9".
if we are going to if we're going to come up here, you know, I saw an ad, right? It freaked me out. What, you know, we had so many campaign whatever
Yes.
ads.
Mhm.
It freaked me out. First of all, I see utuma little babies utupopo kuzambatana tutupopo utubana na bakalanga akakadiso akakadi, you know, utuafwa utubana like
You
little,
are kidding me.
yes, unalive little babies.
Fetuses, like fetuses.
Yes, and then they say, yeah, Kamala, the baby eater, she will. Don't give her a chance to come up here and eat your babies and like.
See the morals that I'm talking about? It's the
One thing we
morals.
need to understand is a lot of people don't understand. They have not unpacked.
They have not unpacked.
They haven't unpacked the conditions that are or were within Roe v. Wade.
Mm.
A lot of people just heard, especially about Kumwesu, yeah, they've done away with abortion, but what was within
That period of abortion.
what was within the document
Yeah.
that brought about Roe v. Wade?
Yeah.
You have to read, there are certain rights and protections that now in Texas, in states where Roe v. Wade has been overturned, okay, a loving couple who is trying to have kids, God blesses them, they get pregnant, something happens along the way, and that baby is now becomes unalive inside.
They cannot.
The doctor
take it out.
cannot take
Nope.
it out
So you're gonna die.
because the doctor will be persecuted
Yep.
for doing
You
that.
are kidding me.
And it endangers the woman from further having other children,
Other
even
children.
even
Yes.
if they survive that ordeal.
Yes.
Okay? So that woman now has to go to another state
Yes.
where Roe v. Wade has not been overturned, so they can now get the health care that they need.
Oh wow.
You see, we cannot be so
Shallow-minded.
says my people perish because of lack of knowledge.
Knowledge.
Get yourself some knowledge.
Back
Yeah.
straight.
Get yourself some knowledge on the issues that pertain to you and me. Because you see, while this issue may not affect you today, let's say you're a woman like myself. I'm not having any more babies. I'm done. Okay?
It's like,
I'm done. Okay? Yeah. Irene, you
me too. Hello.
you're not having, right. Let's say you are within that age and you're like, you know what? It doesn't affect me. Okay. Guess what? This could be your daughter. This could be your daughter-in-law. This could be your sister that this thing is happening to down the road. Don't be so complicit to think that because an issue does not directly affect you now, that it will not affect you.
Mhm,
Absolutely. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So number batata Roe v. Wade is going to be nationwide over 10, which means if anybody has any medical issues, and that's just one of the
Yeah, just one of the. You know, now that you said it makes a lot of sense. There are so many clauses in that
yes.
that we don't know. People just think it's just that you know they've abolished abortion, but you don't know what's there. You
I'll
know?
tell you one thing. I'll tell you.
What about the a young girl who has been raped?
Mhm.
She's
That's the
pregnant.
thing.
I don't want to keep her pregnant.
So I'll tell you a little bit. When I was having Malumba, right? I think I was 20 weeks, 21 weeks. So they said he had a cyst. So there was, some complication, but I'm just going to go to the point of that. whereby they had called me at the time with my ex to go see the doctor and say, oh, mwana, we knew there's something wrong with it. And then they give you that, because remember, I was 37 years. So, you're older, you're past the age. So they say, oh, we want to even go kwata, takabe wino, akabe chilema, akabe. That period of time, right? They give you, God forbid, my child is fine. They used to give you the idea.
Yeah.
Ngaumwana bakaba 95% takabe wino, ngafyalwa. They used to give you that permission to say, you're going to have a very difficult pregnancy. You're going to have this. They used to give you that. So they told me that for me, because the fact that I just say, you know what? It is what it is. On the other end, Winnie, what if this is what's gonna be? What you gonna do? I'm like, listen, I think at this point I can feel my baby. I think we're good. But they used to give you those options at between 20 weeks and 30, I think 20 weeks and 25 weeks of pregnancy. Right now, Gawaya Hospital, when they give you that period of time, between 20 weeks pregnancy and 25 weeks. Now Gubakusanga Chumwana Obe is 99.9. It's gonna be garbage. You cannot have an abortion.
Well, first of all, Winnie, you can't say that word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Like, if they're going to have developmental issues, right?
Developmental issues.
99.9% chance. And guys, that's not a decision anybody should have to make.
It's a personal decision.
I feel like, there are so many women that have said, that's my baby, I'm keeping my baby, I don't care, whatever it is. Because faith operates at different levels within each and every one of us.
Yes.
And what I have an issue with is, okay, so your point is, hey, do not take the life of this baby, but we'll wait until you have this baby, let it grow. And then the police are just going to take this baby's life in an instant. Pew!
Yeah.
No.
Right? We're okay with that. Because we went through an era where police were unaliving Black people, especially men of color, at a rate that was very alarming. George Floyd.
Yep, we did not forget.
Can we forget?
No.
How many times, taking a jog in the park was a problem. Being in your own house, a problem. Walking the streets, a problem.
And that's the reason why, Nelly, when we just started, I said, regardless of what party you follow, you support, or who won, who lost, we are one under the same world. So let's not bring animosity towards each other. Let's just live in peace and harmony, because somehow, whatever the policies the Republicans are going to put together, it's still going to benefit us at the end of the day. So why do too much?
You don't know that.
Did you
Pastor Linda says, I'm glad you kept your baby, Winnie.
Listen.
Do you know that Winnie story? It happened to me when my son was, maybe I was like 6 months pregnant. I went for my ultrasound and they couldn't hear they couldn't feel the ultrasound because I think he had turned a little, so they couldn't feel it. So the nurse told me that, we have to repeat it. So they didn't send me home. They said, go and sit down and drink some cranberry juice, whatever, come back again, and then we'll do it. So I asked him, I said, so what happens if this doesn't pan out? That's when she said, normally when this happens, people have a child with Down syndrome. It's still a beautiful child, but we give you an option to choose whether you want to go through it. But I didn't have that choice like Winnie, where they said, you want to do this or not. They just told me that if the results come out the way they came out earlier, then we'll worry about Down syndrome. But thank God, we went back for the second ultrasound in the afternoon and it came out okay. It's like his head just turned again. So they managed to see they do the ultrasound very well. But this is to say, at the end of the day, like you said, it's your choice. It's my body, my choice.
My body, my choice.
Yes, it's my body, my choice.
And then I saw the other one. We're talking about you're being raped. I don't know if you can say that way. You're being in that situation. You found yourself in that situation. For example, a 13-year-old found themselves in that situation. You want us to just like, okay, and this is when it becomes so hard. It's my body, it's my home. I make a decision. God knows this is a 13-year-old, and I don't even know where these things happen. God forbid it's not happening in anybody else's home.
It happens even at 11 years old.
Yeah.
And then
you're even talking about 13, 11.
I didn't know that.
Unfortunately, by a family member, by a relative, sometimes even by a father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
it's very.
So,
Doc.
You're welcome, Doc.
Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we I don't know. We were just, I guess we're unpacking, we're venting. Guys, we said it before. In case you're just joining us, we are talking about election emotions, unpacking everything that we're feeling. And feel free to join us. If you want us to send you a link, just let us know in the comments. We will reach out to you. You can join us in the studio and share what you're feeling, and let us know if you are comfortable, how you voted, why you voted, how you're feeling today about the results. So this is the Insaka Talk Show. So Dr. Musoma, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is it clear? Is it clear now?
Yeah. You were saying something very profound earlier, but your
faith and
let's go ahead.
Faith and fear live in the same house.
Yes, faith and fear. You were talking about faith and fear.
Yeah, so faith and fear live in the same house, and how, faith is the anchor of our, of our Christian faith. I guess, in Hebrews 11:1, it says, now I abide the three things, faith, hope, and love. And the greatest is love, right? No, actually, I take that back, not Hebrews. But so when faith and fear live in the same house, it means that you could either walk in faith or you could walk in fear.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of us, when we encounter situations, even with Winnie sharing your story, I'm sure that was a moment of faith and fear. Like, this baby, should I not keep this baby? That's why in Bemba they say, there are certain things where only when you've been in them yourself can you speak to. Yes. So faith and fear live in the same house. So people that know how to control people know that you could either use faith, use fear. But then the beautiful acronym from that is fear is false evidence appearing real. Okay, false evidence appearing real. So, and Chimamanda Adichie, whom I'm sure you all know, says that the danger of a single story.
Yeah.
The way people work who are trying to control people, like who are dictators or tyrants, Mobutu Sese Seko, Idi Amin, all the different tyrants we've had, they pick up a single story to define a people. Okay, so if I could say, Nelly, you know what, people who are from your tribe are like this, I keep saying it over and over and over and over again, it becomes Nelly's story. Irene, people who are from Chicago are all gangster, blah, 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 it becomes that story. And so the story for this election was baby killers. I've never met a woman who's had abortion who was just happy about it.
Never.
In fact, most of the women that I've met in my life that have actually spoken about having had an abortion are very broken by it. Some of them even celebrate their birthdays.
Yes.
Yeah.
So right. Yep.
And so that whole crap of saying people are just out there excited to go kill babies, it's pretty ridiculous. So again, that's fear. So you're using fear, and so to my brethren, people that we are like-minded, I ask you, what happened to the Beatitudes that Christ taught us? Blessed are the meek in spirit.
Yeah.
What happened to the Beatitudes that, whoever is first shall be
last.
And so during this whole election, I've had a challenge. And let me tell you something, ladies, I have a confession to make.
Yeah, shoot.
before my hashtag Ukukakula moment,
Mhm.
I would have
Mm.
potentially voted for this dude.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say that because I thought that a Christ-like living meant me
Mhm.
being God's public relations manager. And
Mhm.
I like that.
you know, and I have resigned from being God's chief marketing officer or public relations officer, you know, because I know that my story is incomplete, just like everybody else's story out there. We're
Right.
on a journey. Please
Mhm.
don't legislate my morality. I'm on a journey.
That's
Mhm.
right.
I'm finding myself. You know what I'm saying? Just like you're
Yeah.
finding yourself.
Preach.
You're not saved because you're intelligent. You're saved
Yeah.
by grace.
Yes.
So why do you
Through
want to
faith.
force someone else to go through the stages that took you 10 years
Ah.
into months?
Yeah.
No way, Jose.
And so that's why I say to my friends, I plead on you to ask to make the case. Yes, we're going to have to live with this presidency. Not
Yeah. Yeah.
Chachini.
And so we still need to have a conversation back in the house.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking about the house, the Christian home,
Yeah.
the house of God, where we contend with ourselves. You know, so my confession was, I believed in a lot of these things. You know, I remember even one time having an argument, Nelly, with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Dad, you know, I can't vote for these liberals. Eh? They're all liberals. That was during Obama's
Yeah.
campaign. And I'm even like academic about it. Yeah, you can, Dad. You know, I'll never let history report me as a man who did not stand on the right side of history. And then my dad, Nelly, as you remember, Dad, he was like,
Yeah.
Wapisha.
Yeah.
Wapisha, you know? And looking but
Yeah.
and now looking, so how's that guy, you know? All because abortion, all because homosexuality.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I think those two things is what everybody's running with it. They're running with it to the bank.
But
That-
what about the other things, though?
Yeah.
Right?
The other things that are
Is
like
fornication and adultery not a sin? Are
I-
they not sins?
lies. Lies is a sin too.
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, I'm just gonna say this: if any of this I'm gonna say about Democrat, if any of them had same convicted felony issues, would they even stand as a president?
No, Winnie, let's not even go there. If
Somebody
Mr.
just gave me a love note,
Who did?
Oh,
Malachi.
so
that's
cute,
sweet.
Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
We need
But-
that, Malachi. We need it today. We need it.
I know. I love you, mommy. I think I look sad, so you made me a card.
Oh, that's very nice.
I tell you what, before you finish there, you never know little, but in the bedroom. I'm like, why are you there? It's like, mommy, because Trump, because Trump won. You're not happy. So I just told Rafik, we're just gonna hang out in our room today. I'm like, fine, that's why I'm even in the living room, because by now they'll be like watching TV, walking around. Did you even see them coming? Rafik would have come here 10 times. But today I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I told them I love you, my guests, but today is not today. I just want
I
to
told you a lot of people checked out today. Their energy is like on zero.
Yeah, I wanna share a story. This is it's not it's Brenda's story, and I'm sure she doesn't mind. So yesterday we had a Zoom watch party, right? And most of us, okay, Malachi, thank you. That's a really big one. Yeah.
They keep coming.
Yeah.
Prophesizing the love to mommy.
I'm telling you. So we had a Zoom watch party, and most of us sent our kids. Well, I usually send my kids to bed latest 9. I think yesterday they went a little bit late by 9 p.m. Now, Brenda was sitting there in the Zoom, and next to her is her little Chanda. You know, that's her only baby, Chanda. And Chanda is there. She had a little notebook, and they were tallying. They were tallying the electoral votes as they came in, as they were called, right? And at a certain time, the child started getting discouraged. She's like, "But mommy, why is Mr. Trump getting so many more votes than
How old is she?
Chanda is 7, 8. She's 8.
But do you see what I was trying to tell you earlier about children looking up to adults certain positions, and
Yeah.
now they don't know what to. Yeah, don't know.
So she went. So eventually, we convinced her, Brenda, please send her to bed. This child is hurting. She went to bed grudgingly, and in the morning when she woke up, the first thing she asked is, "Did Kamala win, mommy?" And we're like, "No, she did not." So she looked at the mom, went to the living room to go find the notebook, and she did her own checking. She checked and checked, and she found the numbers didn't add up for Kamala. And she said, Nelly is the saddest little face I've ever seen.
And
She's like, it's the saddest little face. And it broke her heart. You know. At the end of the day, let me see, there's a comment from Dr. Mwaka. She says, that's the thing. If Kamala was a convicted felon, she definitely would not have been able to stand such a standard. I completely agree 100%.
No.
And you see, that's what makes it hard, right? Like you come in with a clean slate.
Yeah.
You come in with a clean slate and say, okay, here I am. This is my record. I don't have any convictions.
I'm educated.
I haven't been caught groping on men. None of that, right? But no. Yeah, it's been a tough day.
And then the other thing that I didn't like about Abantu Eswaba, when they said, "Oh, Kamala, she's like this because she doesn't have children."
Yeah,
that's my heart.
That's a low blow.
Yeah, but you know something. A lot of people that I was asking why they don't want Kamala, they didn't have a reason. They just said, "I just don't like." A lot of them were just saying, "I just don't like." I don't know. It's something about her. You know. So if we have 5 million, 10 million who are thinking like that, just because she's a woman, just because her name is, I just don't like her name. I don't know why.
Because she convicted so many men when she was working.
That's shallow though. To don't like somebody because you just don't like them.
I had a conversation. Sorry, go ahead, Dr. Nsoma.
Sorry, Nelly, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had a conversation with Mom today, and just to, like we've been grieving. I think all of us. You call somebody, you're like, well, okay. So she said she had a conversation with a colleague, and they asked her, so what do you think happened? Like what went wrong? And she said she could identify 3 things that really went wrong and got us to where we are and get the election results that we have today. One of them is that the conversation or the perpetuation of xenophobia, right? The Trump campaign ran on, like we talked about, fear mongering. When you can get people to think that, Irene, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Why?
Oh, you
too lady.
Hey, you look like
maybe I'm crying. Wonder why.
Oh my goodness.
Nelly, I want to go do story time. I just want to do this. And Nelly was like, do not. We need.
I said, do not. We
are running on 0. We are running on 0. So sometimes you'll be talking. If are you okay?
Hey,
No.
ladies, we have a comment here from Sandra that I think we should spend a little bit of time.
Yes.
Go ahead and read it.
Sandra says, this is my contribution. After their loss to Donald Trump, Democrats might reflect on the following key questions. 1, messaging and voter connection. Did our message resonate with a broad range of voters, particularly in swing states? Or did it miss the concerns of key demographics? Voter priorities, did we fully understand and address the primary issues that matter to Americans this election, such as the economy, public safety, or other specific concerns? Number 3, rural and suburban out. Okay.
I think it's outreach, but because it's long, so
so it cut her off.
The system cut it off. But I think it's a suburban outreach is what she was trying to say. Yeah.
So Sandra, we want to thank you for that. What do y'all think, ladies? What is your response to
this? You can have a go at it.
So Sandra, she's one of my good friends, my good friend of mine. She's one of good friend of mine. And we were talking this morning, so she knows exactly what I feel, so I can't even answer it.
I think I would go with, I would answer on number 2. Voters' priorities. Did we fully understand and address the primary issues that matter to Americans this elections? Because I think I was looking at some clips, like I saw a couple clips where they were addressed, they were interviewing some African American brothers and sisters, asking them what they think. And they said, you know what, why should we vote for these people? Because what they want is our vote. And when they get in, they forget about us. Nothing has changed for us. We're still on the same, we're still there. So like we said, it's a personal thing. So where they're coming from with that statement, it could resonate within what their challenges are. So maybe, yes, we should have understood like certain demographics, certain neighborhoods needed to be addressed a certain way, and Nelly said something that was profound. Don't lie when you're trying to get in. Try and be as honest as possible so that when you do get in, you can actually execute the things that you were saying. But don't sugarcoat things that you know that when you get there, you're not going to do them. So now people get tired.
Yes.
Next year when you say, let's go and vote, they'll be like, yeah, you know what? I voted 4 years ago because they promised me this, that. And I didn't see none. So why am I wasting my time?
I'll say it before anyone goes. I think how Joe Biden came in, right? We all were very hyped up. We were excited because we came out from Trumpies. And I feel like there was so much damages that was done to the country, which is Joe Biden was trying to fix it. So by him focusing and fixing what Trump messed up, right? I think maybe he kind of he leaning towards fixing the country, make sure everything is good. And then by the time he was trying to catch up to the second term, he was older enough. So everybody's blaming for what Joe Biden did, and they did not give Kamala as a vice president, who is in the vice president. They think she's part of what the Joe Biden were doing. So I feel like they're blaming of what Joe Biden was doing because she's a vice president. Therefore, she knows what was happening. But I feel like Trump was so much messed up when he was there. So they were trying to fix so much that was damaged. So by the time they were catching up, Joe Biden couldn't do it anymore. And then they gave it to Kamala, and they don't want to do that because they feel like she's just the same package as what it was. That's what it's going to be when she comes in as a president. They didn't want to give her that opportunity. I feel like that's what's happened to people. They just want when somebody come in today, everything changed. They're forgetting even those PP loan that you got, even those $1,400 that you got. It's because of the Democrat gave us those money. I think we had a house or something like that. It's not Trump who gave us that money.
And Winnie, what you're saying is what I was thinking about. I think sometimes in terms of our elections, we need to be objective in our thinking. And then when we have an illiterate population, which sadly, America is full of educated illiterates.
Bingo.
I would like to know.
Let's forget mine.
Because, and let me say this, I say that with all due respect. I'm an educator. It's one thing to be educated here. It's another to be educated here. Most of us attend universities where we are taught by people who are educated here,
but not here.
Not here. There's incongruence here. And so with what Winnie is saying, if you and I are being objective, we understand that national policies do not fully manifest in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. There's a cycle within which they have to go through. So sometimes you realize that the policies that we will enjoy in this current term are policies that have been set in motion from the Biden administration.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because running a country is like turning a cruise ship. If you're going on a cruise ship, you can't just turn it immediately like this. It has to go through a series of shifts. And so I think we need to stop this binary way of thinking, which says it's either black or white, it's either Democrat or Republican. We need to invite our population, educate them in a manner that they can look at things in the abstract. Nelly, and this is where I think we need to go back. Let's talk about solutions. Some of our solutions, even in our homeland of Zambia, is we need to bring back the type of education that allows for our young people who eventually become adults to think critically about issues.
Critical thinking. Thank you.
Exactly. So what we have is people who are arguing and saying, oh, I'm a one-issue voter. What makes you think that a country is run on one issue?
No.
I'm a two-issue voter. What makes you, let me ask all these people out there, if your mother was dying of cancer and the only doctor that was in the hospital, specialized doctor on that night, was gay, would you go back and say, well, I don't want a gay doctor operating my mama?
Wow.
Talk about it. I need to give you this.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
It still resonates to what Nelly was saying. Love thy neighbor. It doesn't matter what thy neighbor is.
It's not our job to control people.
No.
People who act the way that they act, it's our reaction to their actions that really determines the character of who we are. Right. So, Winnie, you raised a really good point. The economy, actually, I wanted to talk about that as well, was the economy. Did we really hammer on the economy? Yes. If you look historically, what tends to happen is we have a Republican presidency. They mess up things. People are tired. Elections come around. They're like, okay, let's bring in a Democrat. The Democrat comes in, inherits problems.
Yeah.
Like Henry said, the problems take a long time. Right? It takes years. It's not a 1 year thing. It's not 2 years. Some of these problems take years for them to be steered back to, So poor President Biden inherited a country that was
from COVID.
Grappling. We were in COVID. What are you talking about? Not from COVID. We were in it. We were in the thick of it. People were dying left, right, and center. We didn't know. We had no hope of what was going to happen. We had a president that was telling us, oh, maybe we need to inject bleach. The next day, how about hydroquinone? I forgot about that too. I heard that, if you just shoot up some salt water in the nose, like we had all kinds of, like seriously, we can laugh about it now, but we were in a state of emergency, right? Without a leader that had solutions. Why? Because we had elected a leader that had no critical thinking skills and also didn't have the sense to listen to the advisors. Why? Because he kept firing and hiring. And nobody stayed long enough to make a difference.
Yep.
So lest we forgot, that's a quick reminder of history. Not too long ago, that's what they were working with, right? They come in and now they have to change things around. And by the time 4 years is coming around, boom, it's time for elections. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, they don't do any work.
They didn't give us no money.
We had it better when it was the Republicans. No, my friend, no. And don't forget also when Obama became president, remember one of his terms, he had a Republican Senate and he had a Democrat.
Oh my gosh.
House, right? Sorry, a Republican House. So he couldn't pass anything.
Yeah, he couldn't.
And so, Dr. Muhammad, for those that don't understand how the electoral process works in America, could you please give a quick rundown? Because I started to explain that, and then we got caught up in different things. But the reality is America is complicated. American politics are not cut and dry. There's a way and a process that we follow when we do things and when we elect the presidency. And that determines even how they can work for us, depending on whether they own the House or they own the Senate. Sorry, over to you, sir.
So, so we have the electoral college and then we have the popular vote. Vote. And so every state is allocated a certain number of electoral college votes. And that's how come yesterday, the more important number to look at was the 270 rather than the popular vote.
Yeah.
vote, sorry. And so there's always been a contention about that. It's got historical precedence. I think, Nelly, I'm not really an expert at that. I think maybe we should host a session where we invite a political science professor to explain this, because I'm equally confused by it. It was a system that was placed to bring fairness. But instead of answering your question, I want to propose an idea to all of us here. It's from a professor. I think he's African-American gentleman. His name is Cornel West. And Cornel West says, in America, we are now left with what he calls a market morality, a morality that is based on markets rather than actually spirituality. The whole idea of spirituality is just sheep and wolf skin, because if we truly were convicted by a Christian Judeo principle driven morality, we would not just care about the baby when it's in the womb. We'd care about it when it's Tyrone in a poorly
Thank you.
Stop 6 going to a school that is underfunded, in Stop 6 going to a school that has got burglar bars in the United States of America. And so I'm calling on all my people that love babies so much. Let's see you, if you're in Fort Worth, let's see you in Stop 6.
Yes, love on those babies.
Yes.
Let's see your churches coming to volunteer and actually do good in those areas. Don't talk to me about a baby in a womb that you've never met. Talk to me about Tyrone, who's living in Fort Worth today. You know? Yes. I'm not trying to say I'm here to say I want babies killed. That's not my point. My point is that if you're pro-life, you should be pro-life the whole life of the child.
Thank you.
Exactly.
And so that argument to me is mute. Nelly. So this idea of market morality is something, please Google it.
Market morality. Morality that's driven by markets. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend. Nelly, if you go to any restaurant in America, as much as people are saying, yes, it's been a horrible time, all the restaurants are full. All the malls are full. Fact,
everybody's buying new cars.
You waiting to get service because they don't have enough people to do the work since COVID. We are waiting to be seated, waiting to get service. Yeah, sorry.
I'll say something on that. Did you realize it in the summer in Florida, they were hiring just housekeeping for $80,000 a year. You know why? Because in Florida, they took every immigrant was out. Now.
What do you mean?
So in Florida, remember?
No, this
was real.
Things here.
He told people to get out. People got out. He said if you're illegal immigrant, you have to get out of Florida. That's 2 years ago, by the governor.
Where did you go?
So, Winnie, even bringing that home, guys, have you noticed that? Here in this, Dr. Marcus says the Trump campaign was focused on xenophobia and fear. Get rid of those illegal immigrants, so disrespectful towards fellow human beings. Dr. Mwaka, thank you so much for your comment. I'd like to, maybe we should spend a little bit of time on speaking about Ubuntu. And let me give you a quote that maybe none of you have ever heard, but I'm about to share it with you all. Is that okay?
Yes.
And this quote is from Kenneth Kaunda. Yes. So I had the privilege of going to look at the Presidential Research and Archive Center at Boston University, where President Kaunda and President Rupiah Banda were once resident scholars. And while I was there, I came across a speech that President Kaunda gave, and in his speech he said, when they're done with taking our resources, our copper, our silver, our diamond, the final export out of Africa will be our humanity.
I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again.
Yes.
When they are done
with our resources, our copper, our gold, our diamond, our cobalt, and all that is that brought about imperialism and colonialism, the final export out of our country or our continent will be our humanity, Ubuntu. And so that's why I like to call myself an ambassador of Ubuntu. Because at the core of Ubuntu is the idea. We used to think those things were simple concepts when we were growing up in Zambia. When they say man was the center of life. Remember in school we used to learn that in civics.
Yeah.
But it's such a profound wisdom. It's the kind of wisdom that allows someone like Nelson Mandela to come out of
Mm.
prison and say, I'm going to build a rainbow nation? Can we stop for a minute and think it was, can you stop for a minute? If Donald Trump was in prison on Robben Island for 27 years,
Hey.
given his posture, what would happen after he came out of prison?
Mm.
So it is something that we should value as Africans,
Mm.
that we bring. It is a commodity that is not purchasable. That's why
Mm.
the idea of market morality should excite us as Africans. We
Yes.
still have a core that we should celebrate. You know, when, you know, look at the way we do our funerals and people raise money. You know, sometimes but
Mm. Yeah.
you know.
That's
Yes.
true. That's very true.
Yes, and so I want to put a pledge to Zambians. Can I just say something to Zambians? I know we're
Yeah.
talking about the votes. We just came from celebrating 60 years of independence. There was
Word.
600, Irene, there was 600 Zambians in Washington D.C. in
Yeah.
the same room. Now,
Mm.
we were invested.
Yeah.
My Zambian people across the United States, I want to say this to you. We should fight for the end to elitism. You know,
Yeah.
how there's the somebodies and whatever you all say, the nobodies. In that room, there was 600 Zambians, whether they were CNAs, whether they were professors, they were sitting in the room to celebrate Ubuntu.
Ubuntu, yes.
Ubuntu.
Our deep, so in other words, my existence is dependent on your existence, Winnie, just as much as your existence is dependent on mine. And if you ask me, I listen to Fox, I listen to CNN, I listen to different outlets. I never felt or heard the spirit of Ubuntu coming out of Mr. Trump's messaging.
Never.
Never. And
Now-
so to all my African counterparts, especially by Pente, let me just say it.
Mm.
My people, my
Who
people.
are so obsessed with Trumpism that this is some major prophetic Christian, whatever you call it. I want to
Please.
challenge you. Maybe let's just go back to our basic cultural roots of African. You know, when we take care of each other. How does that fit in with that? How does your love of a man who's saying we are from shithole countries? Let me just say, I'm sorry if there's kids. You know, how does that reconcile with not only your cultural background but also your spiritual background? You know, and so I'm not angry, like I said, but I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Mamsoma. Defa mlande pono kulanda pali bali abantu besu abe nebo twaisana be nabamwisa. The one that are sitting down every minute. Oh, this is because God sent him. Because God said it's gonna be this way. And for you guys who don't have papers, you'll be going home because them they have papers now. So I want you to address them.
It's a shame though.
Yes. You know, I love what somebody said. There was a great, I think it was a Nigerian speaker. He said, some came by the Mayflower.
Yes.
Some came on Air France.
Yes.
Some came
By
on
water.
and some came just in different ways, but we all came. There's only one group of people that didn't come.
Yeah.
And so we are all in this, what I like to call this America is not a melting pot. We were all taught that America was a melting pot, and we love that idea. But if you think about a melting pot, if it cooks long enough, will melt all the ingredients to a point where it's just a soup. I would like to propose that America is a salad bowl. The beauty about a salad is tomato ila shara ni tomato. Ama carrot ila shara ma carrot. You know, melting pot fila sungu.
Everything is mixed up together.
Yes. So we are a beautiful salad bowl.
I like that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nelly. Go ahead, please.
No, I just wanted to say I've also heard the other one that also struck me was America is not a melting pot, but it's a mosaic. When you look at a beautiful piece of mosaic, you can see every little piece in its individuality, and it still makes up this beautiful piece of art. So yeah, but I also like the salad bowl because I like food anyway.
A Jamaican prophet was saying that if you put, I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, if you put water in 6 different jars of 6 different colors, okay, and then you close it, then later on you just say randomly, you say pick one. When you drink it, all of you are going to find out it's the same water, but it's just, you're going to identify the cans by their colors. But then not the content of
Yeah.
their cans. So he was saying, at the end of the day, you identify me as a black man, right?
Mhm.
And I identify you as a white man, a Japanese, a Chinese, and whatever. But the content of our bodies are the same. We have
Yeah,
a soul,
we're
we
human.
have a heart, we have
Mm.
blood, we have everything that flows in everybody. But
Mm.
because we are in different containers, when I say
Mm.
pick one, you're going to say, oh, you know what? I like the red one. And then you say, I like the yellow one, I like the blue one. And then when I say, okay, open them. What's in the red one? There's water. What's in the red one? How does it taste the same?
Mm.
So at the end of the day, there are so many people that look at life, you know, like in terms of, like you said, the mosaic, where it has different pieces, right?
Mhm.
Every time you see that, you see beauty. You're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. It's the same thing when you see like a group of people standing together. There's a Chinese, there's a black, there's an African, there's a white person. It looks very beautiful together, especially when they're laughing. They're having a good time with music. Everybody says that and they say, oh my God, this is beautiful. Why can't we live like that?
Mm.
They want to Mulela and win.
Mkwe.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Mwaka says there was definitely no spirit of Ubuntu coming from Trump. His rhetoric was always negative, divisive, and demeaning of people of color. Absolutely outrageous to tell us he is from God. Our God is love. We are mouthless at the outcome of this election.
I
Now,
love that marvelous part.
Mwaka, you and me both.
But Dr. Bafude Sumusana Maulis.
Imwe mouthless ya kuzambia. Ati ile mau.
I like that.
Mouthless.
I'm always.
We're talking about solutions, right? I want to
Yeah.
tell you that there's actually a silver lining in this election.
What is that?
And the silver lining is this. 28 years ago, I moved to the United States of America.
Mhm.
Yesterday and today, we're experiencing the divided states of authenticity. Now, let me push a little bit further what I mean by that. The United States of America was a country that, to me, was a country of Clinton, the country of
Yes.
hope. You know, when Clinton says there is nothing wrong with America that what's right about America cannot fix.
Mm.
That was the United States of America. The divided states of America says they're eating dogs on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the divided states of authenticity.
eating
Now, hold on.
dogs.
Sorry, Winnie. So before you go, hold on. So the divided states of authenticity is what I'm calling it, the DSA. So the silver lining is this: is that now people have been given permission to truly be who they've always been and have never just spoken to.
Ah,
I think now we're actually in a better place because we really know where people stand.
Yes.
You know?
number 12.
You know where people stand. And so what I said, what I like to say to people is that I would rather you're an honest racist than a pretending racist.
Yes.
Because at least I know where I stand. You
Yes.
know, so now at least we can know that, hey, this is how somebody thinks. You know, that they think that people eat dogs, you know, so that us immigrants and all the things that have been said about people that are the weaker. So it's okay. I think the silver lining is that now we can have real discussions because they've been hiding for so long. You know, now everybody's out. So maybe the silver lining is when the Bible says, and I repeat, when the Bible says the truth shall set you free. Maybe America, this is your time of truth, because the truth is painful. Somebody once said pain is changeful and change is painful. We are going through a change because we're honest.
Okay. You gotta give this man a church.
Me and Nelly are the ones who are supposed to have that voice.
I'm Summer.
That's you.
You know, you just sound like, remember the speech about Chiluvaidi?
Yes.
Speech about Chiluvaidi.
Yeah.
We can't even have that. Even yesterday, when my friend Mate was like, Winnie, can I send you the video that speech after Chawina? Jennifer, thank you. That's it. Thank you. Like, what are you talking about? Thank you.
So Winnie, I'm going to stop you. Winnie, before you go, we cannot allow that. We can't even say chimuntu.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we're better than that.
Yeah.
I think for me, I will
Maybe
never.
after tomorrow.
Yeah, no. I
No,
think
you can't.
we can't, and I think this is a message to all of us.
Rakateka. If we are truly
Yeah.
Christian, we have to respect.
Yeah, we have
Yes,
to
We
take
have
he's
to
in
him
office.
respect the position that somebody holds.
He's in office. So the Bible says we give, we even have to pray. Ladies and gentlemen, in the last few months, I've been studying Catholicism very seriously. And I've actually been studying the book of Exodus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers, and everything, and how it plays out, and why the Eucharist is called the Eucharist. Did you all know the Eucharist, the bread that we take, the word Eucharist comes from the word thanksgiving?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes, so the word Eucharistic is coming from the word thanksgiving. And so I believe we should all, as Christians, take a moment and take bread together, the Eucharist, which is thanksgiving. And then when you look at the Eucharist, it's symbolic of the coming of Christ. That's why in the New Testament, it says, I am the bread of life.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think now we truly have to take the Eucharist. You know why? Because even in the midst of this, God is providing manna. And if you look at the word manna, you know what, Nelly, this is amazing stuff. The word manna means, what is this?
What is this that the Lord has provided?
So guess what? Even in the midst of this,
what's the solution?
So even in the midst of all this, Nelly, right? Irene, manna is coming. And if we're not careful, we might get caught up like the Israelites who said, what is this? So I think we should turn this narrative around. Instead of saying, what is this? Is to say, how can I be of support even in the midst of something that is difficult? That's when your faith is gold.
I'm telling you, and that's the reason why we should pray.
Yes.
We should pray for the new leadership.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, we are under that leadership.
Exactly. We'll be affected.
For them, we are going to get lost in translation because, like you said, we're Christians. We're better than that. You sit down, when you go and pray, you put them in prayer. You understand? When your friend is lost, when you go and do your normal prayer every day, pick all your friends that are in this. You said, you know what? When I spoke to Nelly, she wasn't sounding very well this afternoon. You put her in prayer. So we have to do that.
I feel like God is telling me right now, right this moment, that.
Are you sure they wine?
I feel like God is telling me. No.
You feel like God is telling you what we need? Go ahead.
I feel like God is telling me right now at this moment, right, that if Kamala had won, I think the world was gonna be at the place where we don't want, because Trump, right, him being a president now, it's gonna define what the presidents we're gonna look for now. Because now we're gonna have a new Democrat, we're gonna have a new Republican. The younger ones are coming. We're gonna pick and choose better. I don't think this is the end of them Trumpers to be in the office. And the Kamala was gonna come and was gonna clean up, right? But I think God wants us to go through this rotten moment. So when we have new leadership,
leave it for Winnie and her words.
When we have new leadership, I think it's going to be different. Because everybody's going to look for somebody who's more qualified, who's more educated. I think it's going to be different when we have different presidents after these 4 years.
Yeah.
You've got a point there. You've got a point.
Can we read Marka's one before we read our friend? Yes, I think that was a very profound.
Yeah, Dr. Marka says, thank you so much to all of you amazing leaders for this dynamic conversation. It's been therapeutic. We absolutely needed this to get healed and see the silver lining in all of this.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, we have to uplift one another. And Zaya, I think is how it's pronounced, is Trump 2024.
Zaya, Trump 2024. You know what? I'm happy for you because, like I said earlier, we are still brothers and sisters at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's tomato.
No, but I'm sorry.
Potato, potato.
I'm sorry. Irene, there's orange. What?
Whenever I was in a tough spot, there's a song that when I was in college, you know, and that was before Nelly, before becoming a little bit bourgeoisie. I had a purple bike that I bought at Walmart, you know, purple. Didn't even think about the color. The beauty of being an immigrant sometimes that you don't even know that you're out of space or out of sorts, right? But there's a song that I used to sing, and I pray that this song would be a song that would be in our hearts. I'll sing just a couple of lines, and it's just the same lines. It says,
we can join in.
It says, "What God has for me, it is for me. What God has for me, it is for me. I know without a doubt that He will bring me out. What God has for me, it is for me. It is for me." And so I used to sing that.
Very beautiful words.
And so what God has for us, yes, we understand we're passing through, you know, matololo and all that. But I believe, you know, and I don't want to over spiritualize, you know, because sometimes we do, then we don't allow people to feel.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, so I'm saying to all of you that are listening out there, please feel, please be angry. It's normal. Yeah. You know, you're grieving, you're mourning, you've lost. That's okay. But when the dust is settled, pick up and maybe there'll be a new song. You know, the Bible says, sing a new song. Ichichalo chikapita, nchili umweni kuntu chili. Ichichalo chikayafye, napatu kilamofye. You know, and mweka hatula, muwe chibusawa ndine, mweka tula.
You shared something this morning, Dr. Musoma, regarding, and it's by Black liturgies. And I just want to read a couple of these. It's on Instagram. It says, for those who woke feeling betrayed by their country, just because you've braced yourself for the worst doesn't mean it's any less terrifying when it comes. Today is not for shallow platitudes or sentimental pep talks, nor is it the time to demand more work from Black women and those who have given their very bodies to attempt to redirect the ship to shore. Today is for grief, for deep breathing and safe arms. This country is a curse of its own design, but we remain. So for those that feel, and it's okay, you know, some of us that are really positive, and I've realized I'm one of those people. I'm so positive that I can be irritating. I've come. You have to learn about yourself, you know. Yeah. Sometimes when your friend comes with a problem, I love to come out with solutions quickly. Yeah. Let's do this. Why don't we do this? But what if the friend just wants to lay there and feel for the moment? So for those of you that want to lay there and just feel for a moment, know that you are supported. You know, my husband texted me when he left for work this morning and said, I feel like I've lost someone. Like we've just started the grieving process. You know, and I was like, yeah, it does kind of. Malachi? No. Yeah. Now, when I mean, so I said, because Navidin Ganakono is busy.
In the middle of the thing. Yeah.
I don't put my breakables full of quality.
Calling your name so loud.
If KK was alive, he'd say something like this based off of what Nelly said. My dear countrymen and women, it has been brought to my attention that
when you disappeared,
we have lost something very important, and I would like to declare 30 days of national mourning. You know, you almost feel like we need national mourning, right? But national mourning. Tina Kumbo. Remember those?
No, I don't know that one.
You don't remember that? You don't remember those?
Maybe I know the song. Maybe it's
It's
So
the way he's singing it because Irene takwaba kalimbo ko taishiba. I'm telling you, there's no song or kalindola that Irene does.
Karizim Mauma and I can't do fear.
I'm not a singer, I'm a prof.
So, guys, as we wrap up,
Yeah.
can we just give some last words so we can, get on with the evening?
I can say something, Nelly.
Ajikumbo Takuya Babuela. I remember it.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucia. Lucia says
Lucia Rusmwaru.
Takuba Ababuela.
Nelly, sorry I cut you short. How are you feeling right now after 1 hour 45 minutes conversation?
I think that talking certainly helps. I've been feeling blue, honestly. That's funny. I've been feeling blue for the pretty much the entire day, from last night, today, and it's been really hard.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to Brenda this morning, and she said, you realize we're depressed, right? Because I was talking about just covering up with a blanket and not opening the curtains and just laying there. She's like, you realize that's a sign of depression, right? She's like, don't stay there too long. You can stay today, but don't stay there too long. Well, fortunately, I have work, that kept me from laying in that state. But it's great to come out here and have a conversation. I almost didn't even want to come because I was a mess. I was like, okay, just brush your hair. Normally I'll put on makeup and but this is me. I woke up like this.
I look like this.
Yeah. So, I'm glad for the space to be able to process what I'm feeling and to be able to talk it out with you guys. We've had some laughs and some real deep conversations and learnings here. So yeah, I'm passing it on back to you, Winnie. What are you feeling?
I think after having this conversation, I think this is a conversation I've had that's very profound, and we've talked about everything. It makes me feel like, I think I can live the next 4 years understanding that this is what God wanted. Let's see what we're going to see at the end of the tunnel.
That's a good one. And another thing I want to beseech us is each and every one of us, let us take an interest in how the electoral process works, in how the government operates, in how rules are made, and the things that really pertain to us. Let's take a keen interest, right? We vote somebody. Don't forget, these are just regular people that we vote in here to make these decisions for us. We need to be able to know how they're making these decisions and when they make them and how they are going to affect our lives. So let's take an interest and let's not just come out and vote in the presidential elections. Let's vote in the primaries. Yes. Because remember, the delegates, I was going to tell you guys how the process works, right? So for Texas, because it's a big state, and California, the more they go by the census. So based on the number of people that have been censored to be in that state, then they're allocated a certain number of senators and representatives.
Mm-hmm.
A combination of senators and representatives that make up the electoral college.
Mm.
So that's what comes up with those numbers. Oh, they have 54 in California.
10 points.
Texas, 19 in Pennsylvania. That's how they come up with that. So if you don't come out and you don't vote for the people or for the party that you think is going to make a difference, voting for a president who doesn't have power in the Senate or in the House is not going to bring about the changes that you desire. So let's get knowledgeable about these things.
And when do we vote for that? After 2 years from now? When do we vote for that?
Yeah.
2 years from now.
2 years after the presidential elections, the primaries, you got to vote. So yeah.
Those are the most important, not the president, not what we did yesterday.
It's equally important, but really and truly, when you think about how things work, mm-hmm. that is extremely important. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to speak to my children, and all our children. Chanda, the young lady that was disappointed from last night.
Mm-hmm.
Another silver lining is that my kids are so politically engaged. They watched both debates, and I'm so glad that happened. So my kids are woke, if you want to call it that. And I think we should also do a good job at educating our children to make them future. In fact, the conversation should go beyond voting. We need some young Zambian congresswomen in the future. We need some Zambian mayors, and all those officers. So I think let's impact. So let's focus on those as well as parents, and prepare the young people who will be able to say, "I will fear instead of us being always, So the last thing I'd say regarding my kids, guys, thank you, Kezia, Joshua, Judah, Olivia. If you do watch this 10 years from here, 4 years from here, 20 years from here, 50 years from here, I hope that you see your father as a man who tried to live on the right side of history. Not a man who said he knew everything, had all the answers, or felt was always right. But one thing that your father understands is that the way you define a leader is this. A leader is somebody who's concerned with what is right and not who is right. Always make sure that we talk about what is right, not who is right. So to you, I say thank you, the young people, for being actively engaged. And to you, my sisters, I want to just give you a lift, just a lift, a hug, an embrace, because it's not easy. You are our mothers, you are our sisters, you are our aunts, and you are the vessel that God uses to bring us through into the planet, and so you're worthy of the honor and the admiration. I think we don't thank you enough sometimes. So we're sending you flowers today, and even in the midst of all that is happening, take a time to breathe. The word breathe is where we get the word inspire from. It's perspire, inspire. So please breathe, be inspired. Be inspired by the greatness that is you. The greatness that is you. Come home to yourself. Enjoy your body, enjoy your presence, because we have work to do. Thanks.
Peace.
Irene, yes. I'm in social service. So I'm very worried for the people that I work with. I'm very, very worried. But I'm gonna tell myself that this is just a phase, and I'm pretty sure my clients, my people, the people that I serve, are gonna be okay. I'm gonna put them in the hands of God. Pray for them every day, and I hope the policies and the initiatives that we are creating for these people, for these human beings that are vulnerable, I hope they're going to be favored. Because like we said, we're humans, we are human beings we are full of love, and we want to give back the same love that we expect to be given back to us. Now to everybody that has been on this show for 2 hours, almost here for 2 hours, I want to say, let's love one another. Let's love one another and learn what that person likes. Why do they like it? Why does it work for them? Try and learn about it. You might learn 1 or 2 things that might sit well with you. Don't just despise them based on the color of their skin, based on what you think they are. Learn what ticks their soul. What makes them happy? Why are they been my friends all these years?
Yeah.
Politics should not define your friendship. It's just politics. It's just policies that are made out there. So we either follow them, or if you rebel, you say, you know what, I'm not going to do. There are some people who didn't vote this year.
Yeah.
You can't say they're bad. It's a choice that they made. But at the end of the day, we are still family. We're still friends. We're still human beings living under the same God's guidance. So let's love one another. Let's pray for each other, and let's learn each other's happiness. You never know.
Amen. All right, guys.
I love
Thank you so much for taking the time. This has been the Insaka Talk Show, the aftermath of the elections and unpacking emotions. Stay tuned. We are live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 20 hours African time. So join us. We have conversations. Usually on Wednesdays, we do story time on Insaka. My God, this is what work from home looks like. All right, guys. See ya.
All right, bye.